Welcome to the Chats and Tunes podcast.
Hey everyone.
This is just a quick pre-roll message to say that everything said in the episode is purely our own opinions and should be taken as such.
Yeah, so please don't send us any hate for the things we say and enjoy the episode.
Week 3. Week 8.
It's like week 3. What happened to our podcast?
Oh no, we're going back in time. Mandela effect.
Crazy. 9th episode, week 8 of the Discover Weekly.
Oh
shit. I don't know. I realized whenever I was looking at our stuff, our podcast is called the Chats and Tunes podcast. And then we sort of have a series called the Chats and Tunes podcast and a series called Album Review. I feel like we need to change the name of this series. Like, have it called, Discover Weekly and shit or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We have Chats and Tunes podcast, our name, followed by Chats and Tunes podcast, the podcast, followed by Album Review, the podcast, which kind of feels like...
Yeah, I mean, it feels... Well, I mean... we'll get that sorted
off.
We'll sort it out. It'll be okay. If you can't find us on Spotify because we changed our name for the next 3 weeks,
we'll keep the name. We'll change the name of the. We'll keep. We haven't named the episodes though. We've just called them like 1, 2, 3, and then their names. So what we could do is what I might do, if I get free time, which I won't get free time for like a month or 2.
Yeah, same.
I might create another image to be like the image we have to be like our profile photo, like the Chats and Tunes podcast photo. And I might create another photo that is for this series where we do our podcast just talking about Discover Weekly and just like catching out and shit. So people can differentiate between our profile, the actual episodes.
Okay, that works for me. Yeah. Sounds good. Of course.
Just another thing to add to the plate is that today.
Let's go. Yeah, I've got so much schoolwork to do. Although this is my last week, so that's okay.
Last week of learning, not last week of
learning. No, I mean like it is. It's my last deadline. My last deadline's on Friday. I didn't have a test, and that's me done. Yeah, it's so fit, and I get to just chill and do daily rituals and train and all that stuff. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good. But you're in for another while, aren't you?
Yeah, so this Friday is my last day of teaching. So it's my last day of being taught stuff. Then I have 2 weeks off for reading week and Easter, followed by a month of exams. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're here for.
So yeah, that's not looking forward to that. But hey, this podcast's get me through it. So we're struggling to survive, but we still surviving.
All good. I feel that. But so what do you get up to this week? Anything exciting? Or?
I mean, I had actually a really good week. Ireland got hit with a heat wave for a hot minute, which meant
unbelievable.
Any revision done outside, sunbathing. I mean,
sick.
Last week one of my friends was like, "Yo, you fancy coming down to the docks having a drink?" So we all went down, sat down by the Carb River, had a couple of drinks. A couple of days later, me and Evie, my girlfriend, were like, "Oh, well, we just go and have 1 pint in Salt or wherever," and we spent just the whole day outside instead. We went and watched like a drama society perform like a practice routine of Hamlet out in the grass beside the quadrangle, the main building at Galway. Then we went into Salt and had a pint, and so it's been busy and a lot of drinking just with the good weather. I mean, last night was a good night. It was a very good night. I'll talk a bit more about the night later on. But yeah. I've been busy. I've been doing a shit ton of work and enjoying the sun. That's about all I can say. What about you?
Like that? Yeah, no, I've been the same. I was really enjoying the sun. I kind of had a ritual where I would get up, get a coffee, and do a cold water plunge every day.
Nah, not me.
Bro, it's come on, it's amazing. I'm telling you. But it wakes you up. It's just something so good. And then I was listening to music while I was doing that. and I'll talk about more about that. I discovered an album and a kind of genre that I'm into, even though I cut through that.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've just been exploring and stuff, and then having a good time. Got out for my first walk since I did my calf, so that was really
Yeah.
good,
Very good.
thankfully. And then got some trippy viscos and instas, so
Saw
it was
that.
good.
Sex.
It was class. It was so cool. I love it. And you had to take advantage of that good weather, man.
Yeah.
So
No,
it
for
was some good
sure. I
times.
mean, I don't know anyone who wasn't saying, your typical Northern Irish or Irish phrases. You got the days like this. It doesn't happen
Fucking wonder
often.
days.
I know, Belter, wasn't it? Belter
Fucking
day.
that's right here. It's a fucking wonder day.
Days like these. Tell you what.
Days like these. Oh, but Botanic was it was popping.
But yeah, I think one thing to take away from this week was I fucking loved the music I was listening to. Like, I mean,
Same.
uh, we obviously, you guys that listen know that we sort of, the structure of this podcast, we catch up, we talk about our Discover Weekly, but I'm gonna just go out there and say my Discover Weekly was fucking shocking this week. I mean, let me just name one song, right?
Okay.
Do you know who Bayesian Canadian is?
Oh man.
He is a Minecraft YouTuber. Now, back in the day when I was probably about 8, Minecraft YouTubers used to make Minecraft parodies of songs. And one of the biggest ones was Hunger Games by Bayesian Canadian. This song was in my Discover Weekly. What did I listen to get Minecraft songs in my Discover Weekly? Nobody knows. But yeah, so Discover Weekly this week, trash. I mean, bar one
Okay.
song and maybe a couple of artists that I want to mention. That's literally it.
Yeah. I was very similar. Well, I got like artists that I know quite well, songs that, should be in Discover Weekly because they're so big.
Yeah.
But, a lot of it kind of matched my vibe, and it was so nice to hear good music during the heat wave because it was just like songs for either being in a good vibe and warm weather or hype songs for summer.
Yeah.
So it was just like some of them fit, a lot of them didn't. I'm starting to hold it to a really high standard because I want like that week I got Children of the Internet by Dave and Invocation and Man I Is Logic.
Yeah.
It matched so perfectly with what I was doing that week and the weather and stuff. So if it doesn't match my vibe, I say my vibe of the week, I sound bipolar, but like you know what I mean? If it doesn't
This
match
week
the
I'm
feeling
sad
I'm
boy.
in.
Next week I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. This week I was chill, low stress boy. Well,
Yeah.
trying to be that. So it was like anything that played into that I liked, but there wasn't much of that. It's quite rare.
Respect.
But would you like to talk about your one song that you liked, or
So
even just list off some names, or
yeah, I'm gonna mention two names first, and then I'll talk about one song. So the two names that came up, I had a Cody Co song, which again
mm-hmm.
YouTuber song, Asian Canadian, same vein. Except I actually enjoy watching Cody Co. I mean, Cody Co and Noel Miller's podcast, TMG podcast, was the reason that I wanted to start a podcast. So I wanted to shout him out because his music production is really good. It's just he never makes a serious song. I don't think I've ever heard him or him and Noel together make a song that isn't a sketch. Um, Besides maybe one song like Walkman and Sophia, kind of. But then if you watch the video, yeah. But anyway, Cody's song was from a recent video, and I enjoyed it, but I couldn't take it seriously enough to be like, I'm putting this in a playlist. And the other one is, funny enough, Noel Miller was in my Discover Weekly as well.
Okay.
However, Noel takes his music seriously. When it's just him, when it's a solo, his artist name is Noel, all caps. And he takes his music seriously. I mean, he released this EP, which is one of the songs of his EP was what featured. It's called Crow, and when he dropped it, I listened to it, really fucked with it. Thought it was really well done.
Cool.
The person that makes his beats, Spock, really good beats. I like his style of rap. I like his voice. I think it's really good. So I wanted to shout them both out because they both featured, and they mean a lot to a podcaster like me. But the only song that I was like, this is a good song, was a song by Paul McCartney and Dominic Fike. I think it's called
Oh, I
"Kiss from
seen that.
Venus." Banging song, genuinely a really
Okay.
really good song. It it's kind of it's got this like I think it's like a distorted guitar, but it's really like groovy. Like I mean, it got the whole body going. Obviously it's Dominic Fike's vocals. Love Dominic Fike.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, Dominic Fike, I'll probably be talking about him later in the episode because I want to mention the reason I was listening to other music. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that was literally it. I mean, Dominic Fike's song, "The Kiss from Venus," with Paul McCartney. Well, Paul McCartney with Dominic Fike. I give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really, really solid song. And I put it in all the tunes. It'll be in, like I said, in our Discover Weekly playlist. So go check it out. A couple
Of
of other
course.
songs that were like not throwaway songs, but like I was like, yeah, they're all right, but not much to say about them. They'll be in there too. So go check that out.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I'm quite similar in the fact that I only have like one good song. Um, the one that stood out to me was is called Tango in Paris by Horst OOTOD.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would say that if it's all in caps. And it was nice. It's UK vibe. It kind of played into that. I enjoyed. AJ Tracy popped up on my in my Discover Weekly as well with
Very nice.
Wifey Rhythm. Don't know why that was in my Discover Weekly because it's such a big song.
Yeah, it's massive.
And then yeah, it's weird, especially for like, but it's a cool summertime song. But there's something about the beat that it just doesn't mix for me, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just it's not my favorite. And then I got some ASAP Ferg. All these will be in the podcast or in the playlist, as Rory says. ASAP Ferg, Anderson .Paak, that underground artist we talked about last week.
Yeah,
He made another
strange.
appearance somehow. I
Damn,
swear, like,
he must be growing because of that. His
yeah,
features.
he's in my Discover Weekly all the time. And then Kendrick Lamar was in it with Doves in the Wind. He's a feature on the track. But yeah, there was very little for me to talk about it in my Discover Weekly. So all the songs that I could, not put up with, but I semi enjoyed will be in the playlist. But it's just overall quite
Just
disappointing.
mentioning us talking about Anderson .Paak last week. Fire in the Sky, you said it was off the Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, the
Yeah,
soundtrack of it, yeah? I
yeah.
had a song off Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings this week, and it's called Diamonds,
Serious?
and then it's like an ad sign and pearls, and it is one of the only other
Oh,
songs that I was like, that's a pretty solid song.
no
So
way.
it'll be in the thing. So you mentioning
Yeah,
Anderson
yeah,
.Paak
very
brought that
good.
back into my head. It's a solid song as
Mhm.
well. So yeah, again,
Yeah.
you like the music, or if you want to hear the stuff we listen to that we enjoy, go check
Mhm.
out the playlist called Best of Discover Weekly.
Of course.
Collaborative playlist by us both. So yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. So I feel like now that the Discover Weeklies out of the way and we didn't quite enjoy it as
Yeah.
much, I want to introduce a segment that we don't know whether it'll be recurring or not, but this is called Shit I Listened to This Week and Why.
Woo! I think it
but
should be a recurring session because I mean we don't exclusively listen to our Discover Weekly. We want to talk about
yeah,
other music we
yeah.
listen to as well. So
Exactly. So we were just thinking, and I was just thinking that I had so much stuff that I listened to this week that was completely irrelevant to Discover Weekly that I wanted to talk about. So it's just, and they come with a few funny stories, and it comes with moods, and it comes with emotions, and it comes with just basic stuff. So it's yeah. So Rory, what did you listen to this week, and why?
the shit I listened to this weekend I listened. I'm gonna start off with the artist I listened to. I mean, probably 3 days in a row, and was
Yeah.
actually listening to just before the podcast started, and that's Labyrinth.
Okay.
Um, Whenever I was younger, I remember I had Earthquake, which is the Tiny Tempa and Labyrinth song, collaborative song, and I was like, this is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Whenever I was younger, and I
Yeah.
didn't hear a thing by Labyrinth, or so I thought, for years and years and years. And I actually remember a couple of years ago thinking, God, I haven't heard of Labyrinth in ages because I heard Thunderclouds by Sia in Labyrinth. And I was like, wow, he's really made a
Okay.
comeback. Nah, he had so many songs that I know lyric for lyric that I had no idea were by him. It felt like the time I decided I would listen to Kanye West music for the first time, where I was like, holy shit, he did that song. Oh my god, he did that song.
Okay.
I was just going through all these songs, and I have to say it was fueled a little bit by having watched Euphoria and him being the lead artist on the soundtrack, and B, TikTok fucking loves that on ever ain't got shit on
Oh
me
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm on top of the world, and that's a Labyrinth song. And so I was listening to a shit ton of it, and that man is ridiculous. He is the best artist to just sit down and get you focused, wanting to get your shit done, while also like having something like, not like hyping you up, but like making you feel like, oh yeah, I can fucking smash it. Like it makes you feel like a champ. Like I mean, he makes you feel like the main character. Um, so I wanted to speak about him because he is almost
Yeah.
all I've been listening to this week. Almost. There are
Oh
a few
yeah.
other things. Um,
Damn.
namely being, I listened to anyone who recommended me a song. I listened. Okay. So I
Hey,
want to shout out.
look at
First
this
of all,
guy.
I want to shout out Thomas Disney. I listened to Uno the Activist. I listened to Uno the Activist. Is it the third album, the one with like the lava and shit? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Fucked with it. Actually, really fucked with it. I listened to just some of his music then on. I just like shuffled songs that he featured in and songs that he like were his songs. Really like him. I think he's a solid artist. I listened to Ken Carson. I have to say, didn't like him as much, but I think his vocals were nice. But it was almost like his vocals and the beats didn't match up, even though each of them,
Mm.
you like by themselves, was good. I liked the beats and I liked his vocals, but I felt they didn't match, and I think that
Yeah.
made me not like him. But
Yeah.
I also can see why people would like him. Like I feel like if he got that beat to match his voice, or he got his voice to match the beat,
Yeah.
everything would just click into place, and I would completely be like, yeah, no, I vibe with this artist.
Yeah.
And the
I
third
guess.
artist was I listened to the whole album of Whole Lotta Red by Trippie Redd, and I have to be honest. Initially, I thought it was rubbish. I mean, I listened to the first song and went, "This is gonna
Yeah.
be dreadful," purely because I
Okay.
don't really like mumble rap or like the
Hmm.
type of rap that Trippie Redd does. But as I listened to it more, I was able to pick more and more and more out of the album
Yeah.
that I was starting to enjoy. Like, I mean, that I listened to it, I saw some of the features. I mean, I saw the Future, Kanye, and Kid Cudi features, and
Mm.
went, I'm gonna like those songs. I can already tell. And lo and behold, really liked the Kanye song, really liked the Future song, didn't like the Cudi song, but um, anyway, I listened and I was going, it's not good. It's not good. Going on, going, okay, actually, some of these
Yeah.
aren't that bad, even though they have no features, it's just him.
Yeah.
Listening on, able to pick out a couple of songs that I was like, yeah, I actually really like that song. I think it's a solid song. Um, one of the, I'm trying to remember the top of the top one that I really liked. It's whatever the like most listened to in the album song was. I'm really struggling. I can remember.
I'll get her up here.
I think it's Bino is one of the ones I liked. Uh, I I love you, I hate you, or I hate you, I love you. One of those two.
Sky out of the album.
Yeah, Sky.
Yeah.
Sky slaps. Sky genuinely really
Okay.
solid
Okay.
song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to say, impressed with those suggestions.
Yeah.
Um,
I did listen to that myself as well, actually. Just
yeah, yeah,
a brief listen. Yeah. I did listen to them. I've been kind of vocal on the fact that it's really not my genre of music. And like that's for a whole variety of reasons. I will say, however, that I always say that that I look for feelings in music and I look for vibes, and if I get a feeling out of a song that I like, I will like the song. And I will say that especially in a whole lot of red, and then from the likes of like Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, those kind of artists,
mm-hmm.
you can pick up the vibe of the song really, really easy.
Yeah,
But I think that just for me, the rap styles kind of ruins it. The beats are cool, I think that
I have to say I
if
really fucked with the beats. I thought,
yeah, the beats are really cool, and if I feel like if so, it's biased, but if some of my favorite artists hopped on some of these beats, it would be some of my favorite songs. But it's
yeah,
just it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, this beat's really cool, but I cannot stand the rapping, and
yeah,
I don't know why that is. It's just, and I feel like maybe if I like let like me and myself listen to a bit more, maybe I would get more into it. But it's just not the vibe that I actively go for. I kind of find it's like it's really, really, really hype and kind of to the point where you see it in America all the time, these mad raves or like cardiologue playing and it looks cool. And I
yeah,
would absolutely take part in the rave, but it's just like I wouldn't really enjoy it that much because I
yeah,
don't
yeah. No,
like
I know what you
the
mean.
style. Yeah. But I did think that I can see why people enjoy them. I can see why I can see how I could get a feel out of it, but I just don't think I could stand listening to the rap side of it.
That, and I
If
feel
you
like
get me.
that's 100% because my sort of thing was I felt like each artist, and this actually really ties into the next suggestion that I want to talk about. Um, they are artists that I feel like you have to listen a lot to the artist to like the artist enough to listen to more of their stuff. Like
Okay.
it's that I feel like their styles. It's I'm not gonna say they're not unique because I think every artist has a unique style, but I also think
Mm.
you can 100% like be like, oh, that artist sounds a bit like that artist, and they make very similar music. And I think a lot of those like style of rappers do make kind of similar music. I have to say, I did really like I said, I really liked the beats as well. I thought the beats were really impressive. I mean, every
Yeah.
song had like sexy 808s. It just, I mean, and just
Oh,
like the way
okay.
hi hats and the way clean. But
Yeah.
um, I like I said, the more I listened to the album, the more I found myself enjoying the album. And I don't know if that was because I was overcoming a bias of being like, I don't like this genre, so I'm not going to like the album, or if it
Okay.
was I'm listening to this artist more, so I'm picking up what they're trying to do with the music and being able to be like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, okay, I'm fucking with this now.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Cool.
but like you said, I think some of the beats I was like, like I mean, that's why I was able to be like, I saw the Ye feature, I saw the Future feature, the Kid Cudi
Yeah.
feature, and was like, I'm gonna like these songs because I like the beats and these guys on the beat. Fire, like Go to the Moon with Kanye West. I'm pretty sure that's a really popular song, and I can see
Okay.
why because the Ye verse is clean, and I actually even like the Trippy Red verse on it, like the Trippy Red like his whole like chorus and like verse and stuff.
Feature. Yeah.
I think they both do well. I do think Ye's was better, but I think
Okay.
the song as a whole was a very good song.
Yeah.
Um, but just speaking of listening a lot to an artist to get into them, I want to shout out Cahill, who's on my course, who recommended listening to an artist called Blade. Now, he told me to listen to Blade and was like, listen, like his first thing was, I'm getting you into shitty music. You will not like this song, but if you keep listening to his music, I guarantee you'll become obsessed with him. So I listened to a couple of songs, and you're absolutely right. It's dog shit music, and I didn't like it. But the more I listened, again, the same thing happened where I was like, yo, I'm starting to fuck with this. And I have to
Nice.
say, you're absolutely right. Um, he is very experimental, and I think you mentioned a couple of other ones. I think you said something about Death Grip Cowell. I'm not sure. Um,
Hmm.
very experimental, and I think I fuck with that about it. I think the more I listened, the more I was like, I can appreciate how experimental the music is, and still like the music. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain, but I think I would 100% have not clearly not listened enough for them to be a top artist of mine by any means. I still don't think it's
Hmm.
excellent music, but I'm starting to come around. I can see why people would like their music. And
Okay.
the last suggestion was by Sean Conner, um, who told me about he told me to listen to an album, and he said listen to Black Country New Roads album, which is called Ants from Up There. I think let me bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ants from Up There slaps. It slaps. I
Oh, okay.
really, really like it's like very indie, acoustic based. Really fuck with it. It's a good album. It's a very solid album. And I'll
Mm.
definitely be listening to more by Black Country New Road. And so yeah, I appreciate again. I appreciate all the suggestions. Keep giving me them. Like I mean, tell me about artists and let me expand. I mean, I got asked what my favorite genre of music was last night at
Yeah.
whenever I was having my course night out, and I was like, I don't have a favorite genre. My
Yeah.
love for music is because I love the variety in music. That's the whole point. Like that
Yeah.
is where my love for music comes. I love having an expansive knowledge of music, which
Mhm.
hopefully we'll be able to show on the hurdle again today, which I'm hoping for now. Really hoping
Yeah.
I don't fail. but
Jeez.
but yeah, I feel like it's been like my whole experience for music so far has been a case of I want to know more songs, I want to know more artists, I want to find more songs that I love,
Yeah.
and I feel like I can appreciate a wide range of music because of
Hmm.
that. Like I don't really have a set genre. I'm like, this is my favorite genre. This isn't, so I'm not gonna like any music by any artists that are that type of genre. Like I don't feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so I want to thank everyone who sent me a suggestion and keep
Yeah.
sending suggestions. Like keep
Yes, please do.
expanding our knowledge of music, you know?
Yeah, and it's no, there has to be one every week. Talking about music suggestions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, has to be one every week. But I got a really good music suggestion this week, and it came from the most un like weirdest source.
Right?
So let me set the scene for you. So me and my brother were up in his room, we just messed about. I can't remember what we were doing. And he was playing FIFA. I was just chatting on my phone. I was just listening to the music, and there's this knock on the door. So I'm like, okay, go answer the door. Earphones still in. And I'm like, so I see this guy. I open the door and I see this guy. Low key reminds me of the actor who plays the Flash in like in the DC movies, like
Okay.
Justice League.
Yeah,
That's not a slobbery. Actually, I love this vibe. By the way, he had this big smile on him. But he was this like salesman,
okay.
or he was like spreading awareness for like this company. I didn't get to chat to him because I wasn't the head of the house, so I couldn't talk to him about whatever it was.
Yep.
So I took my earphones. I was like, oh, not to be rude, and he said business call. He does listen to the music, and he has a big smile on his face. He's wearing this green suit with like these really drippy like Air Maxes that had like a bit of green, so the matched. Loved
Yeah.
his vibe, and he's like, I said, oh, just music, bro. He's like, oh, what are you listening to? And I was like, I'm on a wee bit of Dave, wee bit of 50 Cent here, and he's like, oh, so you're in the hip hop. I was like, yeah, yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm more of the classics, I'm more like I like Pac, Biggie. And I was like, oh, no way, serious. And then so he was like, are you over to the house? Blah blah blah. Talked about what he was trying to like show me. And then as I was like, sorry, I can't talk to you about that. And he's like, yeah, of course, no worries. You listen to Denzel Curry, and I'm like, Denzel Curry is an artist that I've heard so many good things about. I've
100%.
heard the album Taboo is meant to be one of the best rap albums currently.
Yeah.
And I've heard so much about him, but I've never really tried to get into him. So I was like, so I told him that, and he said, Walking by Denzel Curry, only released recently. Listen to it. I was like, okay, cool. And
Sweet.
like I wouldn't have if he just had this vibe about him, and I was like, you know what, sweet. So I went up the stairs. First song I put on, Walking by Denzel Curry, and it was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's there. It's just it was a really good song, and I was flicking through this discography, and then I seen Taboo, so I listened through Taboo just because he gave me this. So I listened to the entire album, loved it.
Mm.
Cloud Cobain, for example, is an amazing song. Taboo, the intro is a really good song. So I listened through that, and then 2 days later, I'm just checking, and he's dropped a new
Dropped
album.
a new album. I know.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, let me listen to a bit of Denzel Curry. So he kind of set the vibe for this week. Songs like Mental, The Ills, Melt Session 1, which feeds into Walking. Those are some really good songs. They're like, as I said, he played into more like I wouldn't say chill. I wouldn't say Denzel Curry's like a chill artist, but the beats were really chill and they were really summery and really fun.
Yeah.
And I was chilling there at the park yesterday, in the sun and just kind of down about, and it was nice, and the songs were playing. And when I was driving to Belfast, with a wee bit of sunlight still, it was those songs were playing, and it was really cool. And I'm so glad that that he told me to wise up and listen to this amazing artist that I'd kind of forsaken for so long. So it was pretty funny.
Very good. This is gonna
Yeah.
be. I Speaking of Denzel Curry's new
Uh,
album, it's really funny you should mention that
mhm.
because on the course night out last night we were all talking, and I actually really want to ask you a question that I got asked that I
Okay.
thought was a brilliant question. It's actually
Yeah.
it's a two-parter question,
Yeah.
but they were like Cahill and Sean and a couple of other boys were like, "Have you listened to much Denzel Curry?" And I was like, "I've listened to like maybe two or three songs. Like I'm really not like into him, but I've heard
Yeah.
again great things." They were like, "Oh, so I take it you haven't listened to the new album yet, then?" And you had texted me about 2 or 3 hours before, being like, "Oh, can we record this on Wednesday?" But this is what I want to talk about. One of the things being Denzel
Yeah.
Curry's new album. And I was like, "Well, listen, boys, if you listen to the new episode tomorrow, you'll hear Ryan's opinion on the album." So it's just funny you should
Amazing.
mention that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
amazing.
the question I
That's
wanted to
class.
ask you that I got asked
Yeah.
was it's two-parter. Well, I interpret it as a two-parter. The first part being
Okay.
if you could have dinner, first part, have dinner, sit down and eat dinner with three artists, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh.
Now, take that as have dinner with, sit down, have dinner with, have a conversation with, because
Yeah.
the other question I want to ask is if you could go and see any three artists perform live, dead or
Yeah.
alive, who would they be? Because I feel
Right.
like when the question was asked, my first thought was like, "Oh, I want to go see Ye. I want to," and then I went, "Would
Yeah.
I actually want to sit down and have dinner with Kanye West?" No,
Yeah. Okay.
because
Okay.
he
Yeah.
would not get on with anybody else at the table. So I'm not going to put him at the table. I'm going to put people who
Yeah.
I think would be nice to talk to and who I
Yeah.
admire as artists, sort of things. So
Hmm.
my three were very different to the three I'd want to see live.
Okay.
Um, so I just
Yeah. Ooh, it's a very good question. I think I'll start off with the dinner one
yeah
for a start. But see, I'm tempted to say Kanye West because I would love to figure out how his head works.
I
I'd love
that
to have
was
a
the only
conversation with him.
yeah I
Yeah,
can
but at
yeah
the same time, if you're thinking like there has like three people are having a continuous conversation with each other, I don't know if it would really work
yeah.
in that way. But that's a really good question. Give me time to think. What did you say?
So I for my three I wanted to have dinner with top of the head straight away Freddie Mercury. I think
Ooh,
I
okay.
would absolutely because I feel like he's a very energetic guy and it would just be really fun and really interesting to
Yeah.
talk to him a about his life, b about his music, c about just anything else he wanted to because I feel like he's just that type of guy like you could very easily talk to. Um,
Yeah.
my second one, same reason of being easy to talk to and someone I admire in the music industry is Hosier, purely because a
Cool. Yeah.
Irish music, very, very like skyrocketed the fame with Take Me to Church, stuff like that. I was obsessed with all of his stuff. I mean, Wasteland Baby was one of my favorite albums ever. Um,
Okay.
just because it came at a time where I was in love with that type of music. He came in,
Yeah.
movement, stuff, and like movement. Um, I'm trying to remember the name of the other song. Something to do with fire. Why can't I remember the name of the song? But anyway, just a shit ton of Osier songs that I could sing word for word. And I think he is one of the most lovely people. Any interview I've ever seen, any video, whatever, he just seems so nice. So him, and then I was
Okay.
really torn for my third choice because I
Yeah.
like you was sort of like fuck, I'm on the spot. Who do I say?
Yeah.
And so like my head went straight to artists I've been obsessed with. So I went like could sit
Yeah.
Logic down, could sit Eminem down, could sit like Josh Dunn or like Tyler Joseph, one of the 21 Pilots. I could sit. And I was going through and I was like, I could sit Brendan Urie down. I went, Brendan Urie would be interesting because he's like, heard some of his interviews where he's like very inspired by this artist and this artist and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I thought about it, the
Yeah.
more I was like, artists that inspired other artists would be insane. And that's how
Yeah.
I thought of 3 people that, well, I didn't think of one of them, but I did think of the other 2. So I have to shout out Oshin on my third choice, because the 3 people I'd be torn between to have as my third guest would be Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley,
Oh.
or Stevie Wonder, because the 3 of them were
Ooh.
so influential that
Yeah.
I feel like sitting down and having dinner with them would be incredible. I mean, sitting down and having dinner with Stevie Wonder, imagine talking to a man who has some of the best songs of all time
Yeah.
and who's blind. Like, you could speak to someone who has a completely different view of the music industry. Well, sorry, excuse the pun on view, but a completely different experience of the music industry than anybody else. You know, you don't have
Yeah.
blind artists. That's just not a
Yeah,
thing.
that's
But he is
incredible.
one of the best
Yeah.
artists of all time, regardless of if he's blind or not. Like, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I think those
that's
3 would
amazing.
be hard to tie, like, you know, because Sinatra,
Yeah.
his influence in music is
Yeah.
just
But I feel like if you bring Sinatra to dinner though, you're going to get a lot of cocaine, a lot of women, a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
a lot of
Hey,
people
no.
wouldn't be complaining about that.
Yeah. Let's say we say dinner. I'm a sucker for like a deep conversation or a meaningful conversation. That is the way to my heart.
Yeah.
If you get me, in every aspect of life. And I think in that respect, I think my first guess would be Joji.
Okay,
No,
that's fair enough.
yeah, no, and I think that Joji would have so many stories to tell. Because for anyone who doesn't know who Joji is, he started off on YouTube as Filthy Frank. And obviously, if you've seen Filthy Frank stuff on YouTube, he was just an agent, man.
Yeah.
He was so funny, but it was just like you were on like an acid trip and watching his videos. It was hilarious. But then he kind of, I don't know how he managed to rediscover himself and like show himself to the world in a completely different manner. But Joji, it's such emotional music, and you really get that feeling from it. And I have been obsessed with it ever since I first listened to In Tongues, that EP, or Ball's One's an amazing album. His newest album, Nectar, is really good. So I would love to have a conversation with him, because I would love to see if all the stuff he did on YouTube and stuff was about his mental state, because from his music you would interpret that his mental state isn't amazing. And I would love to see if I'd love to talk to him about that, and I would love to talk to him about his past and how that has affected him as an artist, and I think that would be so interesting. And then I feel like Dave would be a really good one as well, because I think Dave has a lot of he talks in his songs about his past, and he seems to have a lot of stories he's not telling. And if this was a flowing conversation where anything could come out, I'd love to hear what Dave has to say. Especially he's matured so much through psychodrama and through We're All Alone in This Together, and you get more pieces of the puzzle of who Dave is. Every song, he released Starlight, which talks about like he wants to find his princess, he loves love, which you wouldn't hear from the UK scene very often, to be honest.
Kind of out there.
Yeah, it's exactly. So I would love to talk to Dave, because I think Dave he'd be so mature. And then I'm kind of torn. I feel like Kendrick Lamar. I'd love to figure out
one
how
of my
his
ones that I was like,
yeah,
he would be sick to sit down and talk
he'd be
to.
real good, because I would love to figure out how his brain works, because all his lyricism is incredible.
Yeah.
And he's so talented, but at the same time, I feel like it's either him, Sainty, or Nux. There are 2 up and coming UK artists. Sainty, really chill vibes. Now this sounds like a really depressing dinner table, to be honest. Like, but Joji,
but the things that you would hear from these artists would just be, I mean, they're meaningful for life, and that's why I picked like people. Most of the people on my list, well, 2 of the people on my list are going to be deceased, so like I get to hear stories from past that I
incredible,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel like I would choose them like the Law of Attraction / Starlight / Black, like psychodrama Dave. And I would have Joji, and I think, but then again, I'd love to have Kanye West, because I feel like I'd love to take bits of Kanye West mindset and use them myself. Take the
Yeah,
good bits. You
yeah.
know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm really torn. So I'm gonna say either Kanye or I'm gonna say either Kanye or Kendrick as my third.
That's a very
That's the
fair.
best way to put it.
And this is my point. I think hearing other people's lists can be really influential on your own, because
Hmm.
whenever whenever I shout out to Tara as well. I'm shouting fucking everyone out from my course, but we were all talking about it like around the table while we were out last
Hmm.
night, and she was the one who asked it to Sean Conair, and Sean's answer was Kanye West, uh, Elliott Smith, and
Okay.
Paul McCartney. And I was like, I
Oh,
haven't listened to much Elliott Smith, so I can't comment on that.
yeah.
But Paul McCartney, imagine hearing the stories about the Beatles. Like,
Incredible.
and he was like prime Beatles era Paul McCartney. And I was like, the stories you would hear about their lives and stuff, amazing. Um, Kanye West, it would just be so intriguing to talk to him about the way his brain works. I think even not
Yeah.
even about like his songs, just be like, talk to me about the way
Yeah.
you see the world and how you see yourself, and just talk to me about yourself.
Yeah. Just
Um,
to see what his view on life would be incredible.
yeah, which is why he was one of the artists I want to see. He was on my
Live.
to see live. So my three
Okay.
to see
Yeah.
live were Queen, evident in the Freddie
Oh,
Mercury, and because
sick.
I'll never get to see them again, Kanye West. And
Yeah.
I really struggled with my third one, because it's easy to pick two, because it's like when you're picking them, you're like, oh, I have another slot, I can think about other people. But when
Yeah.
you always get to that third slot, and you're like, I could go to a Kendrick Lamar concert where like
Yeah.
every that would sell out a massive stadium and everybody would know every word. You could pick
Yeah.
someone like Led Zeppelin, which was a shout from Carl, and I was like,
Ooh.
some of their tunes are iconic. I love like that old like 70s, 80s like rock.
Yeah.
You could do the Beatles, which would be insane to see perform live again. You're
That would
never gonna
be
get that chance
incredible.
again. Um, and then there's like there's so many to choose from that I really struggle. But I think, personally, I think I would choose the Beatles, just because to be able to say
Yeah.
you went to a Beatles concert when the Beatles were in their prime, I don't think many people
Yeah.
get to say that. And it's, I think it would be a really, really special feeling to be at their shows, you know? So,
Yeah. I feel like you've hit the nail on the head on that one. In fairness, like,
yeah.
um, I'm quite torn on mine, because I feel like I one Travis Scott, easy,
Okay, fair, fair.
easy. You know what I mean? Like his concerts when they go right
Yeah,
are
I was gonna say,
absolutely
don't know if I want
incredible. Yeah,
to go.
yeah. I Travis Scott, easy. Now Dave, because in the Dave concert you could go absolutely nuts and then be crying
Yeah,
within the space of half an hour, and I feel like Dave, that would be like a therapy session. So I think I'd take Dave.
okay.
I definitely think I'd take Dave. And the third spot, you say yourself, it's a weird one. You say Kanye, because I could sit and listen to Kanye live all
Yeah,
day, but then
all
again,
day.
but Kanye has a tendency to stop his concerts early and then just talk shit about like religion and stuff, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know. J. Cole would be good.
Yeah, that was
I'm
J. Cole
actually
and
I'm
Kendrick,
scrolling
like
through. Yeah, I'm scrolling through my main playlist here, just looking at artists and
looking at artists.
trying to think. But I don't know that. But then again, you'll see Tupac live. That'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
You know what I'm gonna
even seeing the
say?
NWA, like seeing them form, like my
Oh
God, the
yeah,
scenes.
yeah. I'm gonna say NWA, but Ice Cube performs like an NWA reunion, but when they're young. So like they all have their current songs. So like Ice Cube can perform a solo stuff, like Today Was a Good Day and stuff,
Yeah.
and Dre can and perform the Chronic. Obviously, Easy would who's unfortunately passed. He could perform all his solo stuff, and Ran. So I think that I say NWA because just mainly because I can't think of anyone who would be better. and also because I think it would just be such an incredible vibe and so incredible. And in fairness, the different feelings you would get from them, the chill, like today was a good day. We do it by Ice Cube, and then you go into like the easy stuff, and NWA's collective, like fuck the police and stuff. I think that could be a really good concert, man. I would really enjoy that.
But I think it's such a great question because it really gets you thinking for two different reasons about your favorite artists. Like, who do I find to be intriguing artists on one hand that I would love to just speak to, and who do I think are performatively excellent artists that I would want to go and actually see perform. And I think I thought it was a brilliant question. It was really good to like widen my eyes anyway, and like my own music taste. Like I thought it was really interesting to see how I thought of my own music taste. But I mean, that's not to talk about the beauty of music again, but that is the beauty of music. Like there's,
but it is, yeah, and you can learn so much about someone through music.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, we've been going for like 42 minutes already. That's mad.
I was gonna say that's we've decided, by the way, for everyone watching, we're gonna try and shorten our episodes because we're sort of spiraling out of control, going from like we did an hour-long episode and went, fuck, we weren't meant to do an hour-long episode.
So let's do an hour and a half one.
Proceeded to do a 56-minute episode and go, woo, we can't fit under an hour, and then do an hour and 20, an hour and 15, an hour and 20, an hour and 25, an hour and 40. So we're gonna try and condense it to between 45 minutes and an hour for every episode from now on. Except album reviews. I think they should be as long as they need to be.
Yes.
Because they're
delicate.
Yeah, they are a delicacy. We need to really focus on it. And if there's a lot of meaning to be pulled, there's meaning to be pulled, you know what I mean? So
of course, that makes complete sense. But speaking of meaning to be pulled,
this episode feels like an original episode.
This is the OG. We're back. But no, I wanted to talk about "Child of God" by Chance the Rapper.
Yes, I think
you've had an experience with, and I'm really interested to hear what you think, because I know you said that you've listened to it a few times. So what was your take on this track?
So I think I kind of fucked myself over a little bit because obviously it was released as a single, and on Spotify what happens is if you click a single just by itself, a single song, it plays on loop forever unless you change the song. And I decided to listen to it while I was doing work, which meant the work I was doing was a long piece of work, which meant I probably listened to it about 7 times in a row. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I get it. Listening to Child of God, can I change the fucking song? But my actual take from the song was, first of all, that song felt so heartfelt. It felt like that was from the heart, from the chest of Chance, you know? It felt like that came from deep down, you know? And, like, obviously a lot of the lyrics are, like, referring to, like, experiences as a child, and, like...
Yeah.
I don't really, like, I don't want to, like, dig too deep in it because I don't know much about, like, Chance's background. Mm-hmm. But like I feel like maybe he experienced some of them, and this whole Child of God is like him releasing this new meaningful song pertaining to like his new like lease on life through religion. But I have to say the other take I had from it was I haven't listened to much old Chance, but from the bits that I have heard from like Acid Rap and stuff, it felt very old Chance. It felt like he had gone back to his roots. And I think you pointed out like the opening is like his old like and it was really, and I agree, I don't have the same feeling because I don't have the same connection to Chance as I feel like you do. But hearing that, I was like, "Oh shit, we're about to get a tune." Right now. And then I listened to it, and I was like, I think it was a really solid song. I really liked the song until I listened to it like 14 times. And I was like,
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
shut up. But it's a
Yeah.
song that I think, um, like I could 100% listen to again, but I want to take a break from it to go back to give it its rightful, in my opinion, like
Yes.
listening to enjoying it rather than listening to try and pull meaning by listening over and over and over again. You know what I mean? I want to sit
Yeah,
down and just enjoy the song, and I definitely could because it's a good song.
it is a good song. Yeah, but I get what you mean. It is Chance kind of finding his roots, and personally, the song it hit me. It hit me quite hard actually. As someone who's kind of struggled with motivation recently, with the torn calf, football's out of my life, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to do other stuff, and it's a bit of a nightmare. And it actually put me in a bad mood. It put me. I went for a nice walk to the park at like late, just to chill, and in that kind of headspace, and I was just looking at the stars and stuff, and just slowing down from life a wee bit. And this song really helped with that. I think that I've written three words here. I think the song represents a mature, reimagined, and motivated Chance. I think that obviously he's gone back to kind of what worked for him.
yeah,
His flow's so nice. The
yeah,
simple piano melody is so beautiful, and it slowly builds, and not to a crescendo, but it adds little pieces by piece by piece by piece by piece. It starts with just the piano, and then there's vocals, and then there's more backing vocals, and then there's a more advanced percussion, like a more advanced percussion instrumental. And I think that works really well because it kind of starts you off with a feeling, and that's how it worked for me when I went for my nice walk. Is it started me off as a feeling where like I'm tired, man. I need something to keep me taking over. I just need to be in the moment, and
yeah,
it kind of slowly builds you up to the point where you're like, I got this. Yeah, it's calm. It's good. Got this. They got this cool song playing. It's all good. It's all gonna be okay. I'll be back from injury soon.
yeah,
I'll be able to train again. I'll get my uni work done. It'll be fine. And I think it does a really good feel or a really good job of capturing that feeling and kind of building it. And that's kind of rare from songs.
yeah,
Uh, in my opinion, I feel like there's songs that capture an opinion really well, but I think that they'll just hold you at one point, and that's kind of dangerous when you're in like certain mindsets, if you get me.
yeah,
But this song does it well. Where I don't know if Chance intended this at all, but for me, what it did was it built me out of that. I'll say I'm not really mud, but it pulled me out, and I really liked it, and I kind of it started off a new playlist for me called At Peace V2 because At Peace V1 was really lacking in tunes, and I wasn't enjoying that anymore. Which then transitioned into Study Mix Volume One because I found it really nice to just chill and like do work to.
very
But
good.
I was really impressed by Chance on this. I am really really excited for the album. That this song is like reminiscent of stuff like Acid Rap or Acid Rain from Acid Rap. That mixtape was really really good, and that song specifically is one of his biggest, I think. And then even How Great from Coloring Book, that record, it's really good. So I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff to come from Chance, and
Yeah,
I personally cannot wait for it.
yeah, because like that one of the things I noticed that what you said like that like build up of like him
Yeah,
like building up emotion and like even the build up of the whole piece. I remember as soon as I put it on, like it starts so soft and like the
yeah,
piano melody is very like a very gentle piano melody, and even him, he's singing quite not quietly, but like
yeah.
sort of like I don't want to say dejectedly, but it sort of sounds like he's sort of rapping like like da, 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 da,
Yeah,
like he's
it
not like
is.
as if
Yeah.
with like as if he is like lacking confidence or like lacking motivation,
Mhm.
like you said, like he's like I don't. It's like I'm like not I'm struggling, but I'm struggling with motivation. Like I'm struggling to see why I need to like why I should keep doing shit or like why I need to get stuff done or like I feel like I can't get stuff done. and as the song goes
Yeah.
on, he starts feeling himself more, and you can feel it. You can feel that more. Like, okay, I'm starting to get this motivation I want to get, and like he like because the like rap becomes like his voice becomes clearer and louder. The piano melody builds up, like you said, not to a crescendo because it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be a really hyper song.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a soft song, but it is supposed to be that. Listen, I don't have that motivation either. I feel
Yeah.
like nothing's really going my way too. But with
Yeah.
time, through this, I can get to that point where I'm gonna, for him,
Exactly.
gonna start making that shit that popped and worked for me whenever I was making it, like acid rap,
Mm-hmm.
coloring book, stuff like that. Like that stuff, I can get back to that because I'm motivated to do that shit now. I can do it. So I 100% agree with you. I didn't get the feeling that I was getting motivated, but I 100% see how I could come across that it's showing his change in motivation to make more
Yeah.
music. So I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
can't wait for the
Yeah.
album to come out. Um,
Yeah.
well, just I feel like we need to wrap it up because there's not too much time left
Yeah.
before we're
Of
over an hour.
course.
But mentioning albums,
Oh.
I
Oh,
will
we're on
be
a
coming
roll.
home tomorrow,
Oh.
tomorrow night.
Oh.
And I
I didn't
think you
know this.
mentioned a little Shawn Mendes album potentially
I
dropping.
did. I am
Um,
releasing a new album very soon,
hey,
aka
Shawn Mendes here.
Ayo Bro. It's Shawn Mendes song.
But yeah, so I'll hopefully be at home just after the drop, and I think it
Yeah.
drops on what it drops tomorrow, 31st.
Yeah, the first tomorrow.
So it drops
Or maybe
tomorrow,
midnight tonight.
which could be ideal because it means I'll be coming home on Thursday. I won't be
Yeah.
able to listen to it at all on Thursday. I've got too much to do.
Yeah.
But all day Friday, listen. I mean, not listen to it at all on Friday, so that the first listen
No,
on
no, so
Saturday is
it's yeah.
definitely the first listen. But
Yes,
potentially
of
record on
course.
Saturday then.
Yeah, yeah,
Drop
that
a
works for
drop a
me.
new wee album review.
We album review, yes, of course.
Ah,
In-person album review. That was
yeah.
perfect.
I love how our album
Excellent.
reviews are all just in person, and
Yeah,
every other
that works
episode
out
of the
so
podcast
well.
is not.
Yeah.
But actually, I will be
Oh.
at home past Tuesday. I won't be coming back until potentially the following Saturday. Depends on when Avi's coming back
Ooh.
down and me speaking to my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But I will for sure be at home next Tuesday, which means
Really?
an actual in-person episode of the
In-person episode.
this series of the podcast, which I
Whatever
don't
we
know what
decide to name
I
it.
think something to do with Discover Weekly. I mean, if
Yeah.
the
Well, I
Chelsea
mean,
Street
we're
pod,
kind of well, sorry, I'm sorry, but I think we're kind of like fading out of Discover Weekly. So I don't know if we make it like
yeah, I don't
the
think it needs to be the pivotal point,
yeah.
but
It's
I
not
do
that
want to
yeah.
keep it as a point. Oh
Yes,
fuck, we
yeah,
didn't do the
yeah, yeah.
hurdle. Will we wrap it up
Oh
with the
well,
hurdle?
I think I've already done the hurdle today. I'm not
Oh
gonna lie
fuck!
to you. No,
I saved mine
yeah,
yesterday to do it, and then you texted me being like, "Well, we do it tomorrow," and I was like, "Get to do the hurdle, let's go!" So I did it, and I saved mine last night to do it on the podcast today.
yeah. It was
Guys, I guess you're
Ace
not
of
going to be able
Base
to.
by All She Wants.
Shh,
Oh
shh! I haven't done it yet. Thank God I was speaking
no.
over you because I didn't hear
Yeah.
what you said. But I guess you're not going to be able to see me fail on this episode, guys.
Oh, unfortunately not. I failed.
Guys.
I didn't know it at all.
I listened to, I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the first second while I was leaving the pub last night and went, I know this song, but I'm too
Okay,
drunk
cool.
to guess. And then I went, oh wait, it's a good thing I didn't guess. I need to save it for the podcast. But anyway,
In your drunkest voice.
yeah, we will try and do the hurdle on episodes from now. Just
Yes.
completely got caught up in other stuff this week and trying to get our practice in for wrapping it up before an hour. And we've been going
Yes.
we've been going for 54 minutes. So
Yes.
I think it's about time we wrap it up.
It is. I'll say. Well, it was lovely chatting about music.
As always, when is it not? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Very good.
But yeah,
Well,
I think that's all from me. Unless you have anything
yeah,
else you want to chat about?
that's all from me as well. I've got a few things that, unfortunately, I haven't been able to talk about. Well, I'll go over them briefly. What's going on? Marvin Gaye, 1971, before he became like the mad sex symbol. His soul album, really, really good. really cool. Went to this really chill, like vibey spot up the mountain where I go for a swim, like cold water dips, and I had it on walking down, and it was a really big vibe. Definitely recommend listening to that. And also the album I Know Nigo, Nigo by Nigo. I as far as I'm aware, he's a DJ Khaled type thing where he doesn't actually perform on the songs, but the feature list is nothing short of incredible. It's
He's not exactly.
ASAP Rocky, Tyler the Creator, Pharrell Williams, Pop Smoke, Pusha T, Kid Cudi, ASAP Ferg, and Lil Uzi Vert. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and the songs are brilliant. I think it's called Ari. Let me check that real quick. It's called Arya by ASAP Rocky and Ego. It's an amazing song. We talked about simple piano melodies. It's brilliant. The Pop Smoke feature is class. I really like the two Tyler songs as well. So definitely go listen to that album as well.
But I think I'm gonna have to, because I saw it on your Snapchat and went, bro, some of those songs are for sure gonna be good. But yeah, gonna have to go check it out myself. Everyone else should go check it out. Like, you should check out all of our social medias. Check out our Instagram, check out Twitter, check out Facebook.
Yeah.
You can find us on YouTube, watch the video, see our sexy faces, as per all the usual stuff. And yeah, I'm not gonna promote the brand that we have got. We have got a few subscribers on other things as well, but I'm not going to promote some of the brands because they're being a little bit annoying to get in contact with. But otherwise, yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast, and yeah, see you all on Saturday for a album review.
Let's go. No one knows that critical reference. Bye.
Yeah, please.